Welcome, everyone. Hello, hello. My name is Jennifer Hunt, and I am the Chief Intelligence Officer with the Real Estate Wealth Lab. Welcome. Today, we've got an incredible Market Leaders Lab ready for you. We've got an incredible lineup, and we are going to be talking about some secrets of the trade. So just one moment, and I'm going to share my screen. And while it's great to see you guys, pop it in the chat. Where are you calling in from or joining us from today? Let us know. Pop it in the chat, get your fingers working, typing it out. I see you, Dawn. That's awesome. Great to see you. Gerald, wonderful. Hey, Terry, good to see you. It's been a while. Shannon, amazing. Randy and Julie, lots from Toronto, so that's fantastic. Dimitri, Tammy, awesome. Great to see you guys. So we're going to get started here because we've got a lot. Oh, it's hot in Regina. Oh, good job. It looks nice out there, man. Gotta love it. Okay, so, and Shannon, are you in Vancouver area? Probably. Maybe you're on vacation somewhere. It's hot too. Okay. North Van, right on. Atta girl. All right. So we've got Ken joining us today. Me, obviously, Lewis and Naran, and I'm going to introduce them in a moment. For those of you who are our lovely members, thank you for joining us. We are just going to go for a really brief spin here into what REWL is. For those of you who are joining us out there on LinkedIn or all of the social media platforms. So just one moment, and then we're going to get into our very, very cool how to discover properties and what you may or may not be missing in that. So what is REWL? The Real Estate Wealth Lab really focuses on research, data, education, analysis for sure, and bringing in some amazing technology to really, really provide amazing market reports. And that's not all. We've got a lot of education, a lot of calculators and incredible things in the background. And we'll talk about that, but it really gives you a personalized investment intelligence. Like it's about you getting your needs met. And we have all of the tools for you to do that, to be a leader in the space. This is just a few of our team members. We've got lots more who are across the world, really, around the globe. And it's a pretty incredible team. And we're just getting started. So please feel free to follow us. We all have different experiences and expertise. And so, for example, I'll typically post a little bit more about what's going on in macroeconomics and really exciting political announcements, whereas Jan is our chief marketing officer, and he'll be talking about marketing, how you can actually get some really cool tips and tricks. And Ken talks a lot about some amazing properties, so that's always important. And Lewis and Naran, you'll definitely want to check us all out. So what you get as a Real Estate Wealth Lab member is weekly reports, expert commentary, macro market trends, regular live digital events, just like the one you've got right now. Some of them are for members only, just so you know. City-specific market analysis. Yep, we drill right down into the city with the buy, hold, avoid, sell signals, and masterminds. And I just want to quickly just go off topic a little bit. This is really important because we're talking about macro trends, expert commentary, and weekly reports. And guess what just happened right now? Well, this morning, the Bank of Canada announced an interest rate increase. Now, of course, we're watching when those are. The next one will be September 7th. So you are getting a special report and announcement today, right now, probably, I think it's going out while you're on this call, about that Bank of Canada interest rate increase. Yes, it went up a whole 1%. And what we expect it to do. This is not, we're just getting started here, folks, when it comes to interest rate rises and inflation. And that's the close notes. And also about the monetary policy. So July, they announced their monetary policy report and what they're going to be doing. So highly recommend you check your emails, because as a REWL member, you get that. And of course, you also get your regular intelligence newsletter. So that's there too. This is a quick video.
A real estate revolution is here. A real estate for busy people. Driven by data and AI, bringing you the latest research and market analysis. A digital wealth library like no other, tailored to your investing needs. Everything you need to grow your real estate portfolio at your fingertips. The new REWL is here. Join the revolution.
Amazing. We're so delighted to be able to share that with you. And our portal, and by the way, I just got confirmation that that email is indeed, it just was sent out at 7:15 Eastern. So it is in your inbox. So a few things that you get with the Real Estate Wealth Lab was that intelligence letter, the newsletter that I just mentioned, our report with articles and commentary, so you don't have to, city-specific market analysis, an amazing laboratory of calculators. I mean, this thing, when you get into that member portal, there are so many tools at your fingertips to make it easy, streamlined, and efficient. And of course, getting all of these are recorded and available to you for posterity, so you can go back and look at them. So save the dates. We hang out basically here on this bat channel on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Wednesdays of the month. And yes, we also have live, like in-person events. Things are opening up, and we just had one in Toronto recently. Isn't that right, gang? And getting to have those social in-person interactions as well. So our next live digital events are July 13th, you're here right now, July 20th, July 27th, we're having a research lab, and then August 10th, 17th, and 31st. So if you are not a member, please join us. You can scan this QR code and get a 14-day trial and join us at our next events. And for the next research event, we are going to be unpacking inflation and real estate in a way that has never been done before. We're creating a model so that you're going to be able to really understand why we're saying it's a buy and hold signal through inflationary times. So stay tuned for that. That'll be exciting if you want to geek out. And then we've got the rule book, and the rule book is it's really for getting started with coaching. If you're brand new out there and you're just getting started, you'll want to definitely check out. Moran and Wendy are amazing coaches. And I know some of you on here already are having a fantastic time and have said some amazing things about this. So we're delighted that you can be here today also. So, and then if you want to join that, you can scan this QR code, and that will definitely get you into the right spot with this. I think it's a 10-week course, isn't it, Moran? Yeah, so 10 weeks of hand holding and getting started and learning all about where to start with real estate. And then this is our 14-day trial. Please click on it. We've got an amazing promotion. And I betcha, who's here? Let me just have a little look. Okay, we've got quite a few of you here. We are doing a member draw for 1 year of Next Level REWL membership right now. So that is a value of $1,188. And we're going to be doing this for the next today and the next 2 months. So this will be a 3-month draw. So you definitely want to be coming out. Are you guys ready for this? I'm pretty excited. Okay, so we've got an amazing head of customer experience here, and she designed all of this. Thank you, Paige. And so I'm going to click here for a winner. I think we need like a drum roll or something here. All right. So now this, can you see my screen? Okay, are you ready for me to click to spin, see who the lucky winner is? Pop it in the chat if you want to be a winner. Anybody want to win a free membership? Pop it in the chat. Okay, thank you. I'm glad at least one of you. Yes, okay, perfect. Awesome. We'll see who the lucky winner is right now. So we're going to click. Armin, congratulations. Chad, hi Chad. Well, maybe next time. So you'll want to come out to our Market Leaders Lab next month also, as we do another draw next month and the month after. So going back to here. Yes, so again, join us next month. We'll definitely want that. And this is how you keep in touch with us, info at realestatewealthlab.com. And and you do need to be a member. So you want to be a member, even if it's on the free trial. I think you count as a member. So get on in there. Oh, and I get all the heads nodding in the background. Perfect. Thank you, team. Okay, so now we're going into, this is our legal disclaimer. This simply just means that if we're providing any forward-looking information or any advice or any thing that seems like advice, it's not. It's up to you to do your diligence, and that's all. That's just normal disclaimer. So there you are. Housekeeping, this is being recorded and it is circulated publicly, and it will be in your REWL member portal as well, so you can access it at any time. And our chat rules, most of you know this already. Ask questions, say hello, engage, put the smiley faces in, or sad faces if you didn't win like Arvind for his free membership for a year. Share feedback, thoughts, ideas, and of course be respectful and courteous and kind. And just don't sell, please. Don't solicit, don't sell. This isn't the time or the place in this particular location. So today we're going to be going through what's called our Deal Hunter. Please scan this or go to this link right now, because you're going to want to follow us along. And we're going to be getting into it in just a moment. What the heck is a Deal Hunter? Oh, it is fun. And we've got some experts right here, right now, who helped design what the Deal Hunter is. And so I'm going to ask you to all get spotlighted up on here. And I'm going to introduce Ken, Naran, and Lewis. And we're going to start with Ken. So Ken is our Chief Operating Officer. And Lewis is one of our Real Estate Wealth Lab advisors. And Naran is our Chief Leadership Officer at REWL. So we're all in this REWL family. But in addition to that, these guys and girls, I'll include myself in here, are next level real estate investors. We're actually in the trenches. So we're going to be going through their brains today and getting insight into what we all do to find properties, to find deals, and be that deal hunter. So let's start with Ken. I'm going to have you, have you say a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself.
No problem. Thanks, Jen. Hey, everybody. Great to be here. Thank you for coming out, and thank you for having us. My name is Ken Klinofdakis. I am the Chief Operational Officer for the Real Estate Wealth Lab. But my heart's a real estate investor first and foremost. And that actually led me to becoming a realtor, because I sometimes knew more than they did. But I wanted to help others get into real estate and real estate investing. So that brought me on this journey. So a little bit about me with a background on automation and logistics. I've converted a lot of single family homes into duplexes and triplexes, and I found creative ways to maximize ROI, by creating these operational efficiencies and expenses and income. And that led me to having joint venture partners and helping other families get into the game. So I hope to help others do the same. So this is why we're here. And what you're about to see today is a collective of all of our knowledge brought into a singular tool. So I can't wait to show it to you guys.
Amazing. Joint venture extraordinaire. That's awesome. Thank you, Ken.
You're welcome.
And Naran, how about you next?
Hey, everybody. Jennifer, thank you so much. And it is such awesome to be here with all of you. And I see some familiar faces. I see that Daryl's in the house and Don Rossum's in the house. Terry, you're in here. I know a number of you already, and you know me. But if you don't know me, my name is Naran Kulathungam, and I am the Chief Leadership Officer for REWL. I have been investing in real estate for over 14 years now. I started really slow, but at this point, what I do mainly is, I was doing flips, I was doing renovations, I was doing duplexes. I got kind of bored with all that. So where it all comes together for me is in the multifamily world. So I am leaning into, I buy apartment buildings. I still buy single family homes, but mainly my focus is more apartment buildings and how to stabilize those. That's what I do. And I also coach in the field of real estate and money. At the same time, because of my background and expertise, I spend a lot of time building a better human. How's that? I find that because I found that for me to go from this level to the next level, I had to change. And so when I'm dealing with real estate investors, if you want to go from here to here, it's not just about knowledge. It's not just about knowing the right people, but it's about being willing to pay the sacrifice that you have to in order to change and to become that next 2.0 version of yourself. And that's what I do well. I help people bridge that gap. So really looking forward to meeting you if I haven't already.
Well, Naran, I think we got an amazing taste of your chief leadership officer role right there. I felt, okay, I better start some extra changing and mindset for where we want to go next level. So that's awesome. Thank you, Naran. And Lewis, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, thank you, Jennifer. Hello, everyone. My name is Louis Sayanu. I am an advisor here at the REWL Group. For me, I've been investing for 11 years. I've been in the construction industry, both commercial and residential, for about 22. And for me, I love the investing in real estate game because it's a team sport. I played sports for a lot of my life, and I carried that over into real estate because you need a network, you need a team, and you definitely cannot do it alone. I started with small properties in downtown Toronto, and now the last 2-3 years, I've been entering the multifamily space because I feel it's one of the strongest markets in the real estate sector, and it allows me to use a lot of the tools and experience I've gathered from all the years of experience, and I get to do it with a lot of great partners, family and friends that want to invest with me. So that's what I'm up to right now, and I'm excited to get into this deal flow and deal analysis and how to find deals today. I've been looking forward to it.
Right on. Well, thank you for joining us, and we're looking forward to extrapolating how you go and hunt for deals. So that'll be fun. And just for those of you who don't know, I do have a real estate portfolio. I've been investing since about 2010. Well, actually 2009. I grew my portfolio within 3 years to 50 doors, mostly apartment buildings. So 24-plex, 8-plex, 10-plex, etc., and a whole bunch of other duplexes and single family condos, etc. The whole gamut, I've done it. And now my focus is really on vacation rentals. I love the clients. I love short-term rentals. And so I've pivoted and I'm working on that, and lots of opportunities in cross-border US and Canada. And I've had a portfolio in US and Canada for over 12 years. All right. So how do we find these deals? First of all, Ken, you're going to share with us, what is this? What are we looking at here? What are we going through today?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what we've done is we've taken what's inside Jennifer's head, what's inside Naran's head, and Louis and myself, and how we search for deals, how they come about, what do we particularly do, the actual small tips and tricks that we all do, and we put that in this application. And this application does 3 things. One, it lets you know where you are currently in your hunting personality, if you will. The second thing it does, it gives you insights into what we do to look for properties and how you can kind of put that out there, that you're searching for these things and how they can come to you. And the third thing it does is it creates a list of things that you should do. So if you saw something you like and, oh, I want to do that, how do I remember that? There's a checklist inside of it as well. So, talk about creating operational efficiencies. This is what we're trying to do for you guys. So this is a tool that's in our portal and accessible for our members. So yeah, we're going to dive in quickly, and then I think Jen, we might actually go through it and quiz Naran and Louis and myself and you to see what else we could come up with.
I absolutely love this, Ken, because took it for a test drive the other day, and it is so cool. And you guys, we're actually going to go and those Facebook quizzes that you do, and then you share them with your friends, and it's like, oh, I'm this. And that's exactly what this is. So we've got something that is going to be so fun, and you're going to find out what us collectively actually are, and you can follow along. So please, here's how you go and find it as a member. You can go into your member portal. Yes, if you are on the 14-day trial, you can absolutely access it. And I'm going to hand this back over to you, Ken, in just a sec. But I want you to go into it and follow along or play with it. And then you go to Do It Yourself machine. For those of you who are joining us live and you're not a member yet, you may access just this if you want to, or you can sign up for the 14-day trial and join it and get into it that way. So then once you get into the Do It Yourself machine playbook, then you go down to the step 2 research and then look where no one is looking. So that's how you navigate to there. And then Ken, I'm going to give this back to you.
Yeah, so really what we tried to do was create categories of things we did. So what you're seeing here is the first thing it's going to do is say, okay, these are the generic categories that we all do. We look at listings, we canvass the neighborhood, we advertise in the community, etc. So we try to just categorize all the things that we did. And then as we go through this tool, we break them all down and we go a little bit deeper, and then we'll go through the checklist. So if you can just move along, Jen, we'll go to the next slide. Thank you. As you go through it, you'll be able to see some ideas that you have and then create those tasks. So as an example, it's like, I didn't know that you can look at foreclosures for deals. I want to do that. I saw that in a tool. I'm going to write that down. And when you're done, it'll actually kick out a nice report.
That's awesome.
Yep. Now, as I said before, as it's going along, it's going to pretty much tell you this is what you currently are. So this is the current kind of hunter you are. So in this scenario, there was a hound, but I think there are a few other personality traits that we came up with.
Yeah, and I'll get to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it tells you where you are, and then it summarizes everything for you, what you selected, and then it actually has your checklist down to the things you want to get done. So this is where you would take this document now, put these tasks into your calendar so you can start to execute on the things that you want to achieve in order to become, a deal maker or a rainmaker, if you will.
I love this. So it's fun and it's practical, and you get to find out where you are on the spectrum. And Moran, where you were talking about always up leveling and changing and doing things and improving things. Well, here's an opportunity that it goes from what? Sport hunter to assassin.
Yeah, so we tried to have a little bit of fun with it, but at the same time, you get some operational efficiencies for yourself. And I want you guys to use it to move into action, bring the deal flow. For those of you that are struggling to find opportunities, use our collective knowledge, our brain power that's been placed into this application, and use it to take your portfolio to the next level.
Awesome. So without further ado, shall we take it for a spin drive?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do the test
drive. All right. So if you want to follow along, you can scan this, and I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing and go over there. 1 second.
No problem. No problem. Louis, you ready? We're gonna pick your brain a little bit more. I know I used a lot of your knowledge in this and the Rands as well, and Jennifer, to build this, but I'm excited to see what else we come up with when Jen asks these questions. It'll be pretty interesting to see how it goes.
Right on. Okay. So we're going to do this a little bit differently because we're not going to do it individually. We're actually going to be collectively, like Ken was just saying. So hopefully we come out with a good assessment. I don't know. So let's see. What are these opportunities? So we're going to get started. As I said, we've navigated here. And so we want to complete the assessment, basically going through these questions. So, all right, between us, Lewis, Ken, Rand, complete the following statement. Typically when searching an area for deals or property, do you search online and local listings?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, that was a hard yes for everybody and some good head nods. Okay, how about walking the neighborhood?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, advertising in the community?
Not so much right now, but I have done it in the past, so I would select yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I actually outsource it to somebody else to do it for me.
Okay, what does that look like, advertising in the community? What, like, give me an example.
Advertising in the community can, well, two things. When I do it myself, here's one thing that I do. When I've got a property that I'm renovating, I will make sure I talk to the entire street neighborhood and tell them I'm renovating. Then, now here's a tip that is not here. So boys and girls, this is a secret. Do not let this out. But whenever I'm renovating a property, after I'm done, I will sometimes actually host a party in the house post-reno and invite all the neighbors. And out of that, and I will have my realtor, my mortgage broker make a presentation there, and I'll make a presentation about real estate investing. Out of that, what will happen is that I will tell them, hey, I'm looking for more deals. And people will bring me deals. Or they will come to me and they say, I've got some capital. I want to get into the game. How do I do it? And there's my next joint venture partner. Right?
Awesome. Of course you would host a party, Naran.
Of course,
so
that's what it's all about.
All right. Okay, thank you. That's a great tip. I hope everyone got that. So I use an investment knowledgeable realtor. Yeah, and Ken, you've got a bit of an advantage because you are a realtor, so
Yeah.
that's helpful. Do you ask for referrals, Lewis?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Do you ask for referrals from your existing clients and joint venture partners?
Yes, even from subtrades,
Oh,
because
And
they go ahead, Naran.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say they have, a great contact list as well, good network base, and a lot of them work for other realtors or brokers that always have properties that need little fixes or touch ups before they're listed, and they always know, you know, what's going on.
right. Perfect. Okay, so getting in there with the trades, knowing what they're working on so that you can maybe make a deal before it comes online. Like
Yes.
in MLS, like a pocket listing.
Yep.
And maybe even a private deal.
For sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Even when I'm asking for a referral, when I first started off, I would ask things like, "Hey, do you know anybody else that has a property for sale?" And I would get, "Well, I'll let you know," or I wasn't getting the response I wanted. So I changed my wording. Now, if you're making notes, this is something you should write down. I changed my wording to, "Who do you know right now that needs to sell their property?" Or who do you know right now that wants to invest in real estate? And by making the assumption that the person I was speaking to already knew people, it put them into a different headspace. And they would go, "You know what? I know this person might be interested." And I was able to generate better leads.
That's a pro tip, Noran.
I do have a question for Ken. And I'm asking this question mainly because I think that some of our members here may be thinking a little bit in this way. Ken, when you became an investment knowledge realtor, you did that because you wanted to solve some kind of pain point in your life. I'm certain of it. Nobody goes, I want to want more work for nothing. So I want to know, Ken, like, what was lacking in regular brokers that you saw that you thought you could fulfill?
I guess it didn't feel genuine. When they brought me a property, it was more about the sale than if it cash flowed from my portfolio. And for me, that felt wrong. And that's why I became the realtor, where if I'm going to bring someone a property, I had better do the numbers so that it's like I'm going to buy it. So that way, please double check my work. So I wanted to solve that problem because I felt like I had been coerced into a deal just to close a deal for the sake. That's how realtors get paid. And I'm not trying to knock any realtors, just some people do that. They have to meet quotas, they have to do this, they have to do other things, but it wasn't really genuine in my best interests. And now that I'm doing it, I do the flip side. I make sure it's in their best interest before we look at a deal or analyze a property or anything like that, because I think that's where you get the most value, and that's the problem I aim to solve.
Perfect. Thank you.
Beautiful. Great question. And that really speaks to that investment knowledgeable realtor. So that's fantastic. Okay. All right. Do you use innovative ideas to find deals?
I think Naran's party takes the cake on that one.
For sure. That's awesome. Okay. And do you wait for deals? I should click that. Do you wait for deals or properties to come to you?
I don't. I go searching. Sometimes they land there because you put it out there, but I don't sit and wait. I go looking.
Yeah. I do a combination of both. I know that I've had a lot of properties come to me through pocket listings and just people knowing that, I'm interested, and I know that happens for all of you also. But I do still do the proactive approach, so it ends up by doing the proactive approach, other deals come my way. And actually, I think I'd like to add something to the innovative ideas to find them. Maybe I can win up Naran's party. All right. So I do have an investment knowledgeable realtor. He's actually on this call today. So that's fantastic. And what we've done is we've gone and gotten the lists of owners in buildings that we're interested in. And behind the scenes and getting flyers designated to them. So actually being able to proactively ask them, if they're willing and when they're willing to sell. So notice I changed my language. It's not just if, it's and when, because individuals are often, it's about timing that they would contact us first. So hey, thanks, Chad. Using your investment knowledgeable realtor to help you out. So that it was an innovative way. So then I guess we do all of the above. So let's click that one and we're gonna plunk it over to the next. And what statement describe, I feel like I'm reading like a quiz, like it's just so fun. So what statement describes how you search online? All right, so do you browse online rental ads, chat groups, and forums?
So now, Jen, real quick, before we dive in,
Yeah.
this is like breaking down each of the categories in the previous one, right? So this is where we get into a little bit of the, how do you search online? You know, tell us a little bit about that.
Gotcha, great, excellent, thank you.
All right, so yeah, I browse the rental ads, chat groups, and forums for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
How about MLS?
I think that's on auto.
Yeah, it's kind of like automatic, like, oh yes, our realtors are sending us things, or of course you've got your searches already set up and it's just a matter of going through those. That's automatic. How about subscribing to newsletters or mailing lists of realtors, developers, and exempt market dealers?
100%, super important.
Absolutely.
yes.
Very
And
cool.
don't forget exempt market dealers there, because they will have a viewpoint of the market that regular real estate brokerages don't have, because they're forward facing or future facing.
That is such a pro tip. It is so important to be on all of those. Thank you for that and calling that out. Thank you. How about for sale by owner websites like Kijiji or Craigslist?
Yep, absolutely.
In my sleep.
And how about reviewing community newspapers and publications?
Not anymore. In the past I did, but now for me, it's all automated, right at the online subscription. So
Fair enough.
Digital.
So an online newspaper though.
I guess you're right. Yeah, Louis, what about you?
Not so much community review of newspapers.
Okay.
Want to pro tip for that?
I definitely do, but maybe not so much in the publications, but an example might be attending like community groups that are like locally based governance groups, boards of directors for a particular community, etc. And then understanding like what other projects are out there, who's approving what from a political standpoint, zoning standpoint, those kinds of things. And I always, as much as possible, attend zoning committee meetings to understand what are the projects, what's the proposals, how the community is seeing that, so that I can have a heads up and know where the better places to be are going to be. So I'll tick that off. How about you, Louis? Anything to add?
On the zoning portion, yes, definitely. Having a look at what's being registered and what's coming up is a great way to identify how the master plan may be changing and what direction it's taking. So that's a really good tool to use, especially for multifamily. You'll be able to really maximize the property's end use. Awesome,
perfect. Okay, so it looks like we do all of the above on that one. And so what are some of the tasks that I want to have a party? Obviously, a post-reno party. What else? What other points? I see that Alan, you mentioned like talking to trades is something that you want to do.
Yeah, so for me, I would actually create a little more time for myself by having someone do these searches online for me. Now that I'm thinking of it and taking this to the next level, that would leave me more time to do the analysis for my clients. As I said, I would make sure that I do that properly for them and then have them double check it if they deem it necessary. So I would offshore this now to an associate and assistant.
Excellent. Very good. Okay, well, I think that's a pretty solid starter list.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Excellent. All right, next. Okay, so when canvassing a neighborhood, select what you do. So now we're going, as you mentioned, drilling down a little bit. So how do you do this? So do you knock on doors and talk to neighbors?
Oh my God,
Yes.
yeah, that's fun. It's actually fun.
So, okay, I love this because you guys just were like, yes, 100%. And you're more, I think, more extroverted than I am, believe it or not. And so I find myself typically a little bit more shy, and I wouldn't really necessarily feel comfortable knocking on doors and talking to neighbors. However, I do have great team members who, for example, an investment knowledgeable realtor who comes out with me, and they're more extroverted and they open the conversation starters, and then I can have more natural conversations with them. So for those of you who are listening for this pro tip, yes, you want to do it, but if you don't feel comfortable with it, go with somebody who is. And then you get the benefits. So cool. I drive up and down the blocks in the area.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All day long.
Yep.
Naran, when you do it, what are you looking for specifically?
When I'm driving around, I'm looking for problem properties. I'm looking for properties that, a couple things. One is one that's run down. The more rundown a property is, the better I like it. Right? Because, and then I'm also looking, sometimes you'll see, and I still see it to this day, even though everybody's advertising online, there'll be some landlord somewhere who hasn't kept up with the times, and they will have a little for rent sign in the front window of their house with a little marker that scratched it, the number in. I will call that landlord and I will say, hey, I know you have a property for rent. Do you want to sell it? Because I know this guy is not doing well in renting out his property. And sometimes they've got pain points. And I'll buy it.
All right, good stuff. No, we're good. Having someone else canvass the neighborhood, I guess that's something you already do, Naran, is you have someone else do it. Is that correct?
Yeah, like a lot of these things are I'm not personally doing anymore. I have realtors that do it. I have brokers. I even talk to kids on the street. Right. So as long as you get known as so I actually, this may be more in keeping with my personality. So Jen, this may not work for you, but you and I together would make a great team. But in a neighborhood, I want to show up as the fun guy who's got stuff going on. And then what happens is that people come to me and bring me the stuff, right? Perfect. So I outsource a lot of this.
Good stuff. Jen, you back? You good?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yep, perfect.
Great. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So how about delivering flyers to let people know that you will buy their house?
Yeah, this is something I did in the very beginning where it's like, hey, I'll buy your house cash. I have a buyer waiting. And you'd be surprised how many people want to get an evaluation just by doing that. And now you have their contact information. And, you know, even if nothing happens, they usually connect about a year later. Jen, you had a similar experience.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I've done a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of flyers, but definitely, oh yeah, you're talking about that particular property. A year later. Got it. Okay.
Tell us the story.
All right. So last year went looking at properties and just kind of getting a sense of various neighborhoods and in fact, pretty amazing properties. And put in a proposal for something that was, well, let's just say it was very, very attractive for me. And it was a vendor take back of 13 million. And a year later, and so, I mean, they were just like, no, we want to sell and thanks, but you know, we like you, but no thanks. And then they tried to sell for a year and then have come back and they're open to it. And they've reached back out to me. So looking into that, now I get the opportunity to do the analysis to see if it works. So yeah. All right. So how about the next one? I ask local shops and property managers for referrals in exchange for some compensation.
Yes.
Tell us more, Lewis.
In neighborhoods, small shops typically have a pretty good beat on what's happening in their community. So they'll have regular customers, for example, so they'll know who's coming and going and always have their ear to the ground with what's happening, even to the extent of putting some flyers in some of those shops so they're posted, because not everyone's on MLS looking at what's listed. So if they see something on a community board as opposed to a digital copy, which is still relevant in shops, that's a great way to canvas to look for properties.
Awesome. And I have a story with my multifamily, Naran, I guarantee you do this too, but my multifamily property managers were always just on the eye out for, someone who's like a tired owner, just kind of ready to extrapolate themselves from the business or whatever have you, or wanting a different kind of clientele or whatever have you. Because I used to do the value add strategy and stabilizing buildings and getting them, up to snuff, if you will, and adding that value. And so the property managers were huge for that. So,
Jennifer, if I can just riff off of what you just said, I think one of the things that we forget, like we are all showing up Wednesday after Wednesday, right? We're in this game and we're trying to up our skills. I'm finding a number of investors who coast. And what happens is that when your skills do not keep up with your ability to manage for present times, you start getting tired. It really does wear on you. And it's difficult to keep and so what ends up happening is that I find that sometimes if you've been a landlord for a while, you start getting annoyed and a little crusty. And it's only because you haven't done the work that you need to look after yourself and to grow yourself and strengthen yourself. You didn't show up in the gym. And now you're concerned that you can't keep up. Well, there's two things you can do. You can go get back in the gym, or you can say, forget it and sell your property. And I'll buy properties from tired landlords all day long.
100%.
Oh man, I feel like I gotta go to the gym, but yes, 100%. Awesome. Okay, so again, all of the above. So make a list of canvassing tasks you will do to find your next ideal property.
Yeah, so for me, I'm going to actually do some more local shops, take some of Louis' advice there. That's for sure. That's something. Got property managers for sure, but the local shops, let them know. That's something I'll do.
And Louis' idea is really good, especially if you are looking for properties in a smaller area, a smaller town, because that's where not just shops, but also laundromats. They'll have billboards. And you're looking for people that are either renting their property or wanting to sell it for sale by, right? Especially in today's market where properties are not moving that fast in the smaller areas, that's where I would be looking there. So I would add that.
Excellent. Very good. Anything else, Louis?
I was just going to riff off of this list. It's a very specific example, but in secondary markets, the actual small businesses themselves are usually attached to some type of residential. They're not standalone. So with the way the rates are going and the market in general, getting a small commercial and small residential in one, or maybe it's multiple, maybe it's a sixplex with 3 commercial units on the ground floor. Towns are very open to redevelopment where you're creating like a work live, and you can have you can turn them into 3 units and have the commercial and residential as 1 unit. Now the person that's operating that small business has a place to live, and they're cutting down their expenses dramatically, and they don't have to commute. So it's saving people money, and you're creating a great product. And cities are really going for that kind of thing because it's helping revitalize areas that might be depressed.
Wonderful. And solving a lot of problems and creating new activity and live work. Who doesn't want that these days? Yay. Yep. Another one that comes to mind is a little bit more of the online community. And one of the communities, I think it's called Neighborhoods. I think it's called Next Door. Next Door. I think it's Next Door. And I find that that's really, I'm just checking it on my phone. We're live, people. Yeah, so it's Next Door or Facebook Neighborhoods or whatever have you. That those are really useful for finding out, people who are moving, because you can simply just even ask the questions. I mean, you can find people to play tennis with. You can find people to sell your place to or buy from. So that's something that I like to use as well. Anything?
Daryl just threw something in the chat that I thought was important.
Okay.
He said talking to pest control. Because because I have bought buildings with bed bugs and I know how to get rid of bed bugs. It's expensive, but it can be done. Cockroaches or anything like that. Like you're looking for critters. And so talking to pest control will tell you buildings that are struggling with it.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Daryl. That's interesting. Huh. Actually, I know some Real Estate Wealth Lab members who have stories about pest control. And I remember it was actually Victoria, British Columbia, and it was a rat problem. And I remember this fellow was like, I want out of real estate for life. I mean, he's got a huge portfolio and he's done very well for himself. But this one rat infestation was just about to just be the end of it. So that's a great suggestion, Daryl. I'll write that, capture that down.
Yep, pest control, good stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
so going on to the next one, we're gonna have a big list. This is gonna be super fun. Okay, so what marketing or advertising activity best describes how you currently let people know to send deals your way? So do you send out local home direct mailers and flyers on car windshields, fairs, or conventions? Or both, or all?
Direct mailers, yes.
Yep. I've used postcards.
What about the conventions?
That's actually good. I like that.
So real estate conferences, real estate networking opportunities, or community lab. So REWL community lab plug. Yep. Okay. How about placing ads in local newspapers?
I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, in a long time I haven't done like that.
No. Okay. All right. Not ticking it then. Pay for ads on social media platforms.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And then post bulletins with local businesses like groceries, coffee shops, and churches. So we kind of talked about that. The laundromat, for example.
Yeah, I've done it with the church for sure.
So I've done events at churches where I talk about money management or about real estate investing.
Fascinating. That's amazing. Okay. And that's interesting. So it's beyond posting bulletins. What I'm hearing is actually now getting out in front of individuals and communicating and giving them some value so that they're going to come to you when they next have a deal or an opportunity. Perfect. Okay. How about offering university students? Sorry, go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for the next one.
Oh, all right, here we are. So do you offer university students and tenants compensation when they send me a property of interest?
1,000%. This is something that I think every real estate investor should do. These guys are hungry. They want to generate income. They've got bills to pay. And yeah, you give them a criteria, which I want to talk about a little bit later, and they can bring you some serious stuff because they're boots on the ground for you. Absolutely.
Awesome. Very cool. Louis, do you do anything like that?
With tenants, yes.
Yeah. Likewise, for sure. And also university students. This is interesting. I use them. I'm not use them. I do work with them a little bit differently and less so maybe on the deal. I know this is Deal Hunter, but in terms of getting other tenants or other so from a tenant side is not necessarily the deal side, but just the same. It's a little pro tip. So, it's not do all of the above. Nope, we didn't catch that one. Okay. So
and
next.
On the university stuff, yes. Jennifer, I don't do that much right now. I used to do that before, mainly because right now I've got more opportunities coming my way than I've got the bandwidth to manage and handle. It's a good problem to have. But when you are giving some kind of compensation, don't be cheap about it. Don't give them a compensation that's going to wow them, because it will make them do the job, bring you stuff. Don't be cheap about it and give them the least amount.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with that. Also 100%. So what other things do you want to have on this list that we're going to do next? for advertising?
For me, I'm going to be more specific with a target niche. I would create more ads or anything that's geared toward, investors that want to let go of something they can't afford anymore. So cash offer type deals where if it meets my investment criteria, then I can help them liquidate quickly.
For me, I would do exactly what Ken is talking about. But the other thing that kind of is bubbling up for me is that I don't have the capacity administratively to manage everything here on this list. And so I really need to get better at systematizing it and operationalizing it. Because if I can do all this without me being present or giving only a few hours a week to it, then it creates so much bandwidth for me. I can scale up.
And you and I need to have a conversation, Naran. And the one word of the day is workflows.
Workflows. That's
all right. Well, it sounds like, Ken, you're going to be doing a market leaders lab in the near future on workflows for busy real estate investors.
Wow, calling me out on the spot. I love it. Let's do it. I'll make it happen.
Right on. Well, I mean, it's something that's so important for all of us to always be improving and refining our processes, and especially if we've been doing them a long time, because they get entrenched and a little stale, and maybe there's new and better ways to be doing things.
Absolutely.
And I see Daryl, wholesaling. Yes. Do you want to tell us more about that, Daryl? What you mean by wholesaling? I mean, in terms of how you're going to market and try and find it, focusing on a niche. Yes.
Yeah, there could be some great opportunities in wholesaling. They've already found a buyer. They're taking their piece and they're just, changing the deed. So nice meeting or signing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. That's good stuff.
Cool. Okay. Anything? Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm going to add. I'm definitely one-upping your party, Naran. I'm going to go hang out poolside because I'm looking for a lot of vacation rentals and beautiful accommodations. I'd like to spend more time poolside, seeing who's there and who's selling. And in fact, I have actually found deals by being poolside. And this was actually a deal, I totally forgot about it. You're reminding me, so this is cool. Was actually in Kelowna at a super, super, super high, like hot market. Nobody could get anything. It was over asking everything. And in fact, poolside found out that, you know what? These individuals, they had a lot of real estate. They wanted out of this particular property but they didn't want to do it for certain reasons because they wanted to do it in a way that was tax efficient for them. And they offered an 80% vendor take back at an amazing rate. It was just, it's an awesome property. So hanging out poolside can yield some results. Right on. Okay, so that's next. Hopefully we didn't lose Lewis for too long here. What statement describes your relationship with your investment knowledgeable realtor? Okay, so we're talking relationships now. So do you offer them additional incentives beyond just their commission?
Yes.
Yes, like what?
Well, I'm in the coaching world, so I'm on call with I work with only two or three realtors, and they have me on speed dial. Any problem in their life, they have access to me right away.
What's your phone number, Noran? No kidding. Hey, everybody. Right on. That's awesome. Okay, so definitely helping them out with their business and their mindset also. That's good to create a long-term relationship also. Very cool. How about you, Lewis? Do you do anything special for your
parties, dinners, events, sporting events or some type of occasion, theater, something a little different. And usually it's not a practice of mine to negotiate the commission. Whatever my realtor is charging, they earn and they deserve because, I know how they work. So that's typically how I handle any additional incentives.
Excellent. And how about you, Ken? What do you do with yourself?
Yeah, so similar to Naran, I provide some investment advice for that. So realtors, as we know, we can't issue commissions or any sort of bonuses on third party to a transaction. So yeah, we are on the side of caution there, but a dinner here and there is definitely something that can be done in exchange for it. So it is definitely something that you want to offer those incentives. If they come across something, you want to be the top of the pile, right? Like everybody wants their resume at the top, so that's one way of doing it for sure.
Awesome. Very, very cool. And
if I can just add something there, when you're adding things for realtors, if you want to be a really good real estate investor, you need a couple of things. You need realtors that can hustle when it's hustle time. Like they need to show up. Secondly, you need realtors that actually bring you the best deals. Like you want to be on the top of the pile. And I actually asked one of my realtors, I said, why do you like working with me? And she said, well, when I find, you tell me what criteria you want. When you find that when I find that property, you buy right away. I actually bought one property where the realtor called me and told me that this property was on sale. This was the asking price. The offer had not gone through. It had, the previous owner had canceled, and the previous buyer, and it was back on the market. And it was that we should put an offer in. When do I want to come and see it? I said, does it have this? Does it have this? Does it have this? She goes, yeah. That's why I wouldn't have sent it to you. I said, what are we talking? Get me the offer. I'll see it after we've got a confirmed offer. But I've built that relationship with my realtor, right? So you want to, and you don't want to nickel and dime your realtor. Do not negotiate on commission. Mm-hmm. I actually I tell my realtors, I want you to make a lot of money, and I want you to be the best in your game. And I want to help make that happen. Yeah.
That's
I'm on fire, right? You know that, right? You can hire me.
Sorry? You're one of my go-to guys, man. So GTA, if you're looking for a realtor, call Ken. Seriously. You may be lucky enough to land him as your realtor.
Oh my God, you're too kind. You're too kind. Let me land you first, buddy. All right.
Awesome. Okay, so the next. Ken, go ahead.
I just wanted to check in with everybody. Is everybody okay for time? I know we're coming up on an hour. Is this beneficial? Is this a value for everybody today? Quick thumbs up or hands, or put us in the chat. Let us know if this is a value. We're providing some tidbits and information on how you guys can find more deals and get them across your desk and decide. Maureen, great, good stuff.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
And pop your ideas in here. Like Miley, thank you so much for popping your suggestion in here. It was amazing. Just being on a condo board, for example, the homeowners association, the strata, so that you're knowing what other owners are up to or what properties, like it's just always being, in neighborhood boards and governance and things like that are also great tips. So, okay, we've got a consensus. Thank you very much for asking, Ken. Please keep going. So here we are. Okay, so how about your buying criteria? Is it clear? And are you and your realtor on the same page?
Yes.
100%. Louis, we had a conversation the other day, and I loved how you create your ideal property. And I thought that was phenomenal. I think that's something that you can share here to the group that's super, super beneficial, because having this clear, these things show up for you, saves a lot of time, et cetera. Do you mind going through that just a little bit?
So I look at it, you can look at it two ways. There's either deal flow or deal creation. I've used both, but for me, deal creation always lands me exactly what I want, because I create what I want before I even find it. So it really narrows the playing field down for me as far as the property I'm looking for. And I share that with my realtor, the size, if it's 6 units, 12 units, whatever the case, and be very specific. Obviously, the area geographically, what do you want it around? Are there hospitals? Are there schools? Is it a big residential area, or is it split up with a little bit of commercial in the area for employment as well? Create exactly what you want and then bring it to the realtor. That way you save a lot of time and you can focus on a specific product. That's how I like to approach it.
I'm going to take yours, Louis, and now I'm going to put a concrete example next to it. How about that? Because I do the same thing when it comes to my university students and tenants. Now, I don't do student housing where you cram a bunch of kids into like an overpopulated house that is not according to bylaws. That's not what I'm talking about. I just happen to choose students, university students, as one of my preferred clients and target clients. Similarly, when I'm looking for that client, I know exactly, like now I'm just buying in one building that it's right next to the university. We know the program lead, like we've targeted the program, it's pilots specifically. We know how long they're in there. We know their program. We know their program leader and the coordinator. So then when one is graduating, the next one is coming in, and it's just, it's a beautiful, beautiful ecosystem. But it took some thought and what kind of client we specifically wanted in those properties, and then going and targeting that. So hopefully that's helpful in terms of a concrete example.
Nice. You refine it over time. Beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So if I may, our time is valuable. If criteria is met, an offer is made. No indecisiveness.
Yes.
Very important.
Very
in the
important.
strike zone, in the strike zone. Okay. We have a referral buyer agreement negotiated and signed to show commitment on both sides.
It's important.
Yep, this is if you're working with other realtors, right?
Yep.
If they're sending you deals, you should have agreements with those other realtors. If you are a realtor, so this is particularly for realtor to realtor, is that, yeah, they can refer you other business and other clients, and you can transact. And you want to have those agreements in place. And also, to Naran's point, if you want that realtor to do very, very well, you're going to want to have an agreement in place. So all that stuff is clear and concrete. So there's no, hey, you made a tremendous amount of money, I want more money on this, but this is what we agreed to, because sometimes that kind of stuff gets in the way. So designing the divorce ahead of time, having something on paper is really beneficial.
I'm going to take just a moment because you're touching on something that's really important. And I know lots of people are asked this question. And Ren, you've already alluded to it. And Ken, you're kind of getting there too. But what are the real true protocols of having multiple real estate or realtors? So, Ren, I know you work with several. Do you disclose your relationship, or is it cheating on them? Like, tell me more from your perspective, because I know that's something that is a little bit messy, foggy, unclear. So
Sure.
Clear it up.
Yeah. Great question, Jennifer. So when I say I have a couple different realtors, but I'm very, very open with them. Actually, I think Danielle, my realtor, is on this call as well. So I can't even lie and make stuff up because she'll call me out. But here's what I will do. I will be very upfront and with my realtor and say, hey, I've got this property. Here's what I want to buy, or I'm selling this property. I want you to be the realtor on it. And that commitment to me is like, I will not move from that commitment once I've made that commitment, right? Because I expect a lot from my realtors. And so you also want a realtor, if you can, like when you're starting off, if you're starting off in real estate, what I found is when I first started off, my realtors wanted to tell me how to buy investment properties, but they themselves didn't have investment properties, or they had like one or two. And it really frustrated me. Now I'm at a place where I think from an investment perspective, I'm more of an expert than most people on my team. However, you want your realtors that you work with also to have the capacity to talk to you in an intelligent and strong manner. And what I mean by that, I'm a pretty strong person. Like, I can get pretty opinionated about stuff. So my realtor has to be the kind of person.
I do know you well enough for that.
What's that? Yeah,
I do know you well enough for that. It's good.
So I want my realtor to be able to say, no, I think this is BS. And because I need that from my agent, right? So when I say no indecisiveness, when you're buying a property, watch for places where indecisiveness shows up. It will show up in the offer process. Make a note of that, because that's where your weakness lies. And double down on it and figure that out before you go to the next deal.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you. And by the way, you got the thumbs up from your realtor, Danielle, who says, spill the beans. So, all right. Well, way to go. It seems like Danielle can hold up to you and be firm back. So that's good. And then just to wrap that up, I want to make sure. So it's okay to work with multiple realtors as long as you're really open and disclosing that amongst them. And then there's no sort of weirdness at the last minute, and that you've got those agreements and you're good to go.
That's right.
Okay. Awesome. So we continually maintain a strong social and business relationship with your realtor. Business and
Yes.
social. Yeah.
Very
Yes.
important.
Very important.
Yeah, I believe it is. You want them to be, coming from what I said earlier, you want to have that relationship strong so you know that your best interests are at their heart. So that way, you know, hey, this is someone that's going to bat for you when you're either not around or you need to see a sight unseen. You know, can you trust your realtor to basically say, yeah, this place is good to go without even being there? So,
Yeah. And thank you. You reminded me, because a lot of the properties that I built, not built, pardon me, but in my portfolio were in Ontario, and I was residing in British Columbia at the particular time of major acquisitions. And so some of them, you're right, did not see. But over 13 years of the same realtor and building that relationship up, I actually ended up, the realtor ended up starting a property management firm. And so it just worked out really beautifully that at the right time, when my existing property manager was no longer the right choice, I was able to give them, I guess this is kind of back to giving them, you know, a preferred treatment, if you will. And so, it was like an incentive, if you will, that they got my property management business on, 50 doors approximately. So it looks like we did all of the above. Oh, go on.
So I just, about business relationships, it's really important that the relationship be such that you're not expecting them to be perfect in everything. And I find this a lot with new investors. When you're starting out, you want your property manager to be perfect. You want your realtor to be perfect, your broker to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. So as a real estate investor, as a leader
wait.
of your,
Sorry. What? Nobody is perfect. Rant. Okay. Breaking news. No, go on.
Stop harassing me. But it's something I learned from actually when I was pastoring. One of the guys that mentored me, he's Laurie Gibbons was his name, and he said, do not get mad at people for their idiosyncrasies. Everybody's got some, and it's really true. Like, I look at all my team, and I can tell you what they're strong at and what they're weak at. Do not expect your team to be strong at what they're weak at. It is your job as the leader of your company to step up and help them bridge that gap on that weakness. It is not on them, it's on you.
Well said. And that actually goes back to what Lewis said at the beginning in terms of it being a team sport. And so as a team sport, you're the team captain, and listen, I'm really bad at sports, but like, bear with me. Like, you don't always have somebody on like first base, like somebody's better at like first base, somebody's better at home, somebody's better at pitching, right? So you got to have a round out and or have your team well-rounded.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Did we lose Lewis?
no, we're good. He's here.
Okay.
Fair. Okay, so make a list of tasks you will create with your realtors to find a property.
For me, I'm actually going to have other realtors look for specific properties for me. So to something that Naran touched on, I will have certain realtors look for commercial, another realtor for mixed use, someone else for conversions, someone else for condos, because having them knowing that you're looking for specific items really can probably move things up for me. So that's something I'd love to do.
Yeah, definitely a good strategy. Guess what I'm gonna do? Oh, no guesses? No guesses?
Yeah.
We're a party.
Well, almost. I actually have a deal that I want to put on the REWL property shop.
Oh, there you go.
And like, I don't know why I haven't done it myself yet. I know I think I've got something up there, but like I actually have something very specific that would be awesome to kind of put into a nice fashion using the Real Estate Wealth Lab property shop templates and all that stuff and get it up there because I think that I'd like to wholesale it. There we are. Wow, this was fun. Okay. What else?
I see sharing not only short term of what you're currently looking for, but share your long term vision with your realtor. So if you're looking to amass, 50 doors in the next 2.5, 3 years, let your realtor know your game plan, short term and long term. And just another one I'll add quickly for short term, I'm looking for multifamily, but I'm also looking for property I can flip as well. And Ken mentioned it, probably going to have 2 different agents for that. Someone looking in a particular area where you want to flip a property, a nice neighborhood that you're familiar with or want to get into, and then another agent for your multifamily.
Perfect. Yep. Anything else of your task list with your realtor?
Yeah.
You're gonna attend any open houses? I want to attend some open houses with my realtor.
Smart. There you go.
Just see what's going on. It's kind of fun, I get to go to the really expensive houses too, like add them on the list. It might not be the right criteria, but it might be. You never know. So that's kind of fun. Open houses.
Excellent.
Okay, that's
The
the
other
list.
thing I do just on open houses is I don't go to open houses with my realtor. In my head, that's my realtor's job. Like, right? I just don't have the capacity time. But here's what I do sometimes when I'm driving around. If I got a few minutes and there's a new development taking place, I stick my head in the new development sales office because what I'm looking for is what is currently being marketed to the public as being hot, right? What's the finishes? What does it look like? Because now when I reno my property, I have I have a picture of what the condo developers are doing.
Right. You got it. That's a good one. And actually, you make a really good point about the open houses tour. So just to be clear, I would do that very strategically. I wouldn't do it very often, but I would do it strategically to build relationship with the realtor, spend time, get to know each other, have some fun, share those long-term and short-term goals. Like maybe add in that, $17 million property that you might want to have one day and have that on that open house tour and go and say, hey, how are we going to get there together? Let's both own these homes. You know what I mean? Your home, my home, whatever. But so using it strategically, because it's your point, Naren, you don't want to be just, spending time aimlessly. Awesome list. Thanks, guys. Okay. So now select who you typically ask for an introduction to someone selling a property. Friends.
Of course. Yeah.
Yes.
I think this is another most important thing is people talk, you always refer a good movie, right? So if people know that you're doing something, word gets out, this stuff starts landing across your desk.
Very good. And how about family?
100%.
Same. Co-workers, colleagues?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Business contacts?
Yep.
People, businesses I spend money with?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Your vendors, like whoever your dentist, you spend money there, anybody that you spend money with, your local grocery store or, boutique shop, all those people.
Perfect. Okay. And of course, don't forget the trades and all of your real estate professionals. Those are business contacts, but just wanted to make sure that we covered that. Cool. Okay. So we did all of the above. Make a list of referral contacts you will connect with to help find your next ideal property. So who else?
I think the sub trades needs to be on this list for me. painters, floor installers, folks that, like I mentioned earlier in the call, are typically in homes that are being prepared for sale.
Yeah, I think the trades one is very important. It's often missed. I think, Louis, you hit that, like, that's a really good point.
You know, I'm actually writing down real estate private equity firms. They may have deals, like particularly in the multifamily space or whatever have you, but they may have come across deals that are too small for them. You know, they're looking for institutional investors, they're looking for larger properties. And I definitely know that I've had some properties come my way that were, you know, 100 doors, 200 doors. And they're like, these institutional investors were like, that's cute, we don't even want to touch that. So get their cast offs. So that might be something that, depending on the size and the location.
Good. For me, I would actually ask more of my friends and family to ask any of their known associates. So I would expand that circle a little bit more. You know, my brother-in-laws, that kind of stuff. Say, hey, if you know anybody, you know, let the people know that I'm looking for property.
Perfect.
Have them contact me. And again, if nothing happens, you have them in your database and you can always just keep in touch.
Yeah. Very good. And then I would also, if I were really looking for something in particular, I would reach out to all of my real estate investor friends, including, you know, the REWL Community Lab, etc., and all the folks here, and asking them, like, there's a lot of individuals who have portfolios. Do you know of individuals who have portfolios who are looking to exit them? And then work on strategic opportunities with, you know, a strategic exit for them as well. So I guess existing portfolios through other real estate investors, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't mind my typing. Okay, that's a pretty good list. Shall we?
Yep, let's go.
Okay, we're 12 of 13. We're almost at the end. We're going to see what we are. Okay. So I actually, before I do that, I hope you guys are following along. Have you gone in and actually, like, are you doing your quizzes yourself? Because you can do this and find out where you are. And it would be fun if afterwards you pop it in the chat what your outcome was, because that would be cool. And thank you, Anita. Good luck on your offer. Appreciate that. Okay. So what other innovative ideas do you use to find deals or properties? Do you stay connected with foreclosures, bankruptcy, and estate agents or contacts?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. How do you do that?
So I'm on a newsletter for forecasts, or sorry, not forecasts, foreclosures. Apologies. Yeah. So I'm in that. So I get notified of anything like that, plus the communities.
Awesome. Louis?
My banker. Not every deal, they're not allowed to disclose every deal, but sometimes they're able to share some information. That's a good one because it could be potential opportunity.
Louis, you know what? Gold star. You just brought up an incredibly important tip that a lot of people overlook. And I'm just going to dial this back because if you're watching, a lot of individuals forget that on their power team is their bank manager. Not the teller, not that, but they have an account manager. You have a business account manager, or however you're doing it, but you want a relationship with that banker, not just for foreclosures, or because of course they, to your point, they can't disclose that. So that's very good. But not just for that, but for your power team. They can help you out, or they can make your life completely miserable. So please make sure you develop a relationship with your banker. Okay. There you go. That's the pro tip for today. Okay, so how about targeting a property? Pull the title, contact, I target a property, pull the title, and contact the owner to see if they'll sell.
Yeah. 1,000%.
That is emphatic. Everyone was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that
everybody knows the house on the block. Sorry to interrupt. Everybody knows that house on the block that all the bushes are covering the windows. There's 1,000 cats around it. You know, you're gonna want to pull the title, contact that owner. Lots of stories of super successful flips on that kind of stuff. So this one's a given. If you're not doing it, you should be doing this. You know, it's $30 in Canada. I'm not sure in what other states to do it, but Yeah, this is the gold standard right here. You should be all day long.
No, like a no-brainer. And how do you find the owner? Is Nito, and Nito is asking. So that's where you pull the title. So why don't you explain that process, Ken?
Yeah, so here we have TERAC, I believe it's called in Canada, where you can actually go in. As a realtor, I can just do it through some of the tools that realtors have, but you have local state land registry offices where you can punch in the actual address and you can get who the owner is of the building. Or I would go a nicer route and get my investment realtor to do it, because that way you can kill two birds with one stone. Right, your investment realtor should be able to help you do the analysis, as I would. Like, oh yeah, give me the address, no problem. We'll go in there, see who the owner is. Let's see if the rents make sense. And that's creating efficiencies right there. Don't do it yourself. Get your investment realtor to do it.
And hence the relationship.
Yeah, hence the relationship, right? So, but that's how you do it.
Yeah, and I just want to address a very important question, Maureen. Thank you for bringing it up. Why does everyone pick on cats?
I don't see 1,000 dogs hanging around houses with. I just don't see it. So it's just
Right?
a fact to me. If I saw 1,000 dogs, I would say dogs, but typically it's cats hanging all over the place. But I've seen a lot of those, as you can tell. So
there you go.
No disrespect to cats. I love cats. So.
All right. Thank you for that, Ken. Really appreciate it. And Nito, you're welcome. Glad that answered your question. I visit estate yard garage sales and ask if they are selling. Yep.
100%. Estate sales, garage sales.
Yep. And what they're up to, whatever that means.
I'll ask the owner of the house. Are you guys thinking of selling? Do you know any other neighbors that are selling? Anybody thinking of selling? Absolutely.
Okay, I connect with builders, developers who sell new homes as buyers will sell their old home.
So this is something that I know other realtors that do. Right, they're the agent of choice for that developer. They'll connect with me saying, "Hey, these people are buying a new home, and they're interested in either selling their place. Is this something of interest?" So that's happened to me. So I don't know if you guys actually do it, but that's what happens. If you're connected with these developers, that's the process.
Naran, Lewis, have you done that?
I have not done that. To buy, here the question is to buy homes that the builder is selling the new home to, right? That person.
Yeah, so there's a new development and they're moving into it. So they have to get rid of their old home. So you'd go and try and get to be there. Get in.
That's a brilliant idea. I have not done it. I do maintain relationship with some builders. And what I have gotten from builders is because they also invest in multifamily, where they've flipped me a deal saying, "Hey, we ran the analysis on this. It's a little too small for us to take on, or we're too committed right now, but it's a great property. You might want to have a look at this." And usually those are not on MLS. They are pocket listings.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to leave that one unclicked unless Lewis, nope.
I like it a lot. I've never used that one.
Okay.
That's something that you can add to your task list that's coming up next.
Oh, I guess, can I copy and paste this thing so I don't have to, no, okay. All right. And then I hold weekly or monthly seminars on how to sell your home and then offer to buy their house. Well.
And I think REWL's doing that. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we're certainly holding them. Our Real Estate Wealth Lab, Research Labs, Market Leaders Labs, Community Labs. And then, of course, Naran, you've got your weekly call with individuals who are just getting started and coaching. So the REWL book.
And I also at times will provide, it's not on a weekly or monthly, like it depends on my scheduling, but I will actually do seminars on how to invest in real estate.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. May I just ask, so my Lee has a great question. She tried pulling the title on a property that she was interested in, but the owner registered his address as a rental property. I also asked the tenant for the landlord's contact, but no luck. Any suggestions of tracking down the owner or landlord?
Yeah, so there's a number of things you could do. Louis, why don't you start off?
I was just going to say you can try MPAC, the tax roll at the City Hall.
That's in Ontario, MPAC, for the assessments.
Yes. So the tax address might be different. It may be going to an actual residence that the person lives in, and you can get that information if you go in person. I've used that before.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's in Alberta. So they'll have a different, it'll just be called something different, whatever Alberta assessment is. Like BC assessment is BC. I don't know the name of it in Alberta. Awesome. Welcome. Okay. Oh my, drum roll, please. We've made it. This is a whole quiz for all four of us combined. Let's see how we did. Oh boy.
Well, you got one more. What's your next innovative idea?
Oh, shoot. Forget that drum roll. Okay, so what did we say? Was going to contact developers. Contact developers.
And bankers, that's something I would do. Like it's not in my, I have a really good relationship with my bank managers.
Good one.
They're always interested in what I'm doing, but I've never leveraged that up. You know, there's another, I don't know whether it's possible or not, but I want to connect. I know a couple insurance adjusters. So what about a property that's had fire damage? I don't know. I'm just asking the question. I've never done this, but I'm going to make a phone call to an insurance adjuster I know.
Oh, I see. And take on someone's problem, which is a distressed property.
Problem. We
buy problems.
We take it over, and then I bring in a guy like Louis to, rip it all out and redo it, and we partner it up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right on.
Throw a party.
Throw a party.
I'm just, you know what? Throw a party.
It's the answer to everything. Just throw a party.
When in doubt.
What a really neat idea. Why don't we throw a pitch party? And you have a whole bunch, we could do this at REWL even, where at one of our community labs, we have everybody come together and they can pitch their deal and just like a big potpourri pitch party.
Perfect.
Always ends with a party. Right on. Okay, now it's time for the drum roll, please. Let's see. Okay, and for those of you following along at home,
Ooh.
Okay.
So this is who we are.
So we are the huntsmen. You've developed a significant routine and skill set at this point, given the energy required to get this level of activity. Your unwavering demand in your search has you positioned to receive consistent deal flow, not available to the average person. Advantage here is that opportunities revealed become more frequent and decisions easier as the criteria is met more often than not. Deals that still work, although not in your criteria, begin to lie dormant, leaving money on the table. All right, so we're doing pretty well. And look at, if I go view summary and your list, and I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint to see where we land in the pack. Oh, what am I doing now?
No, it's probably downloading onto another tab or image.
I see. Okay, well then, I'll bring this up here.
How's everybody doing, by the way? I know we're a little bit over time, but you asked us to keep going, so we're still going. Thumbs up in the chat or on the screen. How's everybody doing? We good? All right, good stuff. I'm hoping this is of value. I know we got you guys muted and stuff, but yeah, by what we're seeing in the chat, it looks like it's good. So I appreciate your time, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for sure. And thanks, Ken. So this is what it spits out. This is our summary report of who we are. So it's got us as a huntsman. By the way, my last name is Hunt. All right, so we picked well. Huntsman, huntswoman, and then we go along here and it tells us, okay, make a list of the tasks. Here it is, some of what we're going to be doing. We said canvassing, so this is what we're going to be doing here is deliver flyers to the hotel, neighborhood groups, etc. So this is really a very useful, and now we can checklist it off with what
That's it. Now you would take those task lists and you put them in your calendar or your reminders to do, and then you can start executing on that stuff to get things going. Because the more
Ken,
you
everything
put
boils
out
down
there,
to workflow.
what's that?
For Ken, everything boils down to workflow.
Oh, right away, right away.
I love it. Excellent. This is really, really useful. So thank you, Ken, for designing this. Big, huge round of applause for Ken operationalizing this whole thing, getting this out of our heads and into a functional tool for all of you folks. And then I'm going to share this PowerPoint. We're almost coming to the end here, ladies and gentlemen. So one moment, but I'm gonna try and hand it back over to you.
No worries.
Yeah, because we wanted to check this out. Ooh, right. And so we were the huntsmen, and where we are in this pack, I know it's, I'll have to just slideshow from current slide, come on. Okay, so this is from the sport hunter. So then it goes to the scavenger, and then an explorer, and then the hound, and then the huntsman. So there were some things in there that we're not doing to be a sniper and an assassin. So we all have areas of improvement, even collectively.
That's right.
Well, that's about being next level, because whenever you're at the next level, there's another next level.
Yep. To give you some ideas, like theoretically, you as an assassin, you should, any deal that comes across your desk, you should be able to turn over a commission on it in one way, shape, or form. That's the idea of being an assassin. Every deal that comes across your desk, someone should be either buying it or moving it. So you're that's the idea of what the assassin is. You're moving and shaking, and every deal is going somewhere. It's either being sold, or you're getting a commission on it, or a referral fee, or a dinner, or something. That was the idea behind it.
Oh, I love that. Okay, that's very helpful context. Okay, so basically making money on everything. No,
On everything.
The other thing I just want to, in our call, we have people who are extremely good at finding deals, and we have people that are starting off. And if you are starting off or at the entry level and you're finding it difficult to find deals, what I've found is that the better I get at being a real estate investor and people know me, the better deals come to me. Now, that might not be fair, but that's life. So if you are starting off, a couple things you can do is, one is just execute, choose 3 things when you go through the list like we did. Choose 3 things that you can bring into workflow, actionize, and do, because your work, if you do the work, you will get the benefits of it. If you just read it, talk about it, listen to it, nothing's going to change. The second thing is that if you're looking for deals, look for other people that are better in investments, because they're attracting better deals than you're attracting.
And Duran, if I
Yes.
can just interject there, is not only like better deals, but they're attracting, like you just said earlier, that you're attracting so many deals that you can't even deal with them. So
Yes.
like send some off the side of your desk to individuals.
Individuals, that's right. Yes. So yes, look for people that you can partner up with. Like, at REWL, we often say, go do real estate yourself or partner up with somebody. Don't do it yourself. And if you're the person that, if you're starting off and you want to do it yourself, but you're not quite ready, partner up with somebody who is doing it well. Because what it does is it accelerates the learning curve and it gets you in front into deals much faster. Because when you do the work, then the second thing you've got to do, or next thing on my head, is that you've got to show the work that you've done. Especially when you are a real estate investor, you're starting off, say, hey, 6 months ago, I did not have this property. Now I'm part owner of a rental property here. Show the work. Because when you show the work, you build your own confidence and your brand becomes brighter in the world. And the third thing you got to do is just embrace the identity of being a real estate investor, so that when you walk into a room, people are like, smells like real estate investing. You've got to become it. So that's all I got, man.
I do love that partnering with expertise or partnering with someone who's wanting to get into it. I know I did a joint venture on a multifamily while I was doing renovations on the multifamily, and it worked out so well. Like the individual would never have been able to own a multifamily apartment building. They were too new, too green. And I shouldn't say never, but their job was so demanding that they knew that they wouldn't have the time to be able to get into it effectively, but they really wanted to own an apartment building. And so the partnership was perfect so that we were able to oversee and teach a few things along the way, but not the whole responsibility. And it worked really, really well. So I do have a quick question in here. So I know we're going to wrap this up soon, but Nito is asking that they're having difficulty on capital. And if you could just touch on that. I know you guys are capital machines at raising capital, Ken, Rent, and Lewis. So if you want to just maybe help Nito out with a couple tips.
I can give him something real quick, guys, that worked for me. Speaking from real world experience, this is exactly how I got started. I became an analysis machine, and for Jen and Naran that know me, I became an expert at it. When it came to analyzing for cash flow, I gave everything I had into it, learning all of the ins and outs, learning the formulas. Even if I wasn't that good at math, I would do it. And because I became an expert in that field, people began to trust my analysis, and that brought in capital because they're like, I don't want to do the numbers; they hurt my brain. Please, can you do that? And that's what ended up happening, so if that's an actionable, you can start with it right away. Learn how to run numbers, learn how cash flow works, learn about the leverage, learn how to package it up. And once people see that, listen, this makes sense, and they will double check your work. They don't have time. Naran doesn't have time. I bet you, if you became an analysis machine and went to Naran and say, hey, Naran, you know what, this deal looks like it's a winner. Is this something you'd like to put together? I'm sure any one of us would do that because we're so busy. So that's some good actionable stuff you can take right away.
OMG. I think I just heard that. Nito, we're willing to partner with you at REWL. So look at that and get capital. So that's fantastic. If you get that expertise and you do, this is the power of having an incredible community that works and collaborates together. Awesome job, Ken.
So I think the question was that Nito is having trouble raising capital. Is that right, Jennifer?
That's how I read it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to piggyback on what Ken said. Ken is actually an analysis machine. I know that about Ken. And that has resulted in, I think, Ken, you used the word trust. It has resulted in people being able to trust you. For me, what I've found is that I can raise capital. It all boils down to, it's not just about what I can do or what deals I've got or anything like that. It boils down to trust. If you are trustable, people will lend you their time and they'll lend you their capital. But you've got to be trustable, and trust is developed not just in the big things, but in the small things. It's in keeping your word to yourself. It's showing up on time for a meeting. And when you're not on time, owning it, saying, hey, I'm behind. I've found that the more I've gotten very, very irritable with myself when I do not keep my word to myself.
Oh, that's such a powerful lesson, Naran. It's so powerful. And that's the number one place it needs to start.
Absolutely. And Jennifer, if somebody's having trouble raising capital, if you can only raise $100,000, don't get mad at the universe because you can only raise $100,000. Don't get mad at all the people around you. You can only raise $100,000 because that is who you are. That's a result of the trust you can generate. That's a result of the analysis you can do. That's a result of how you show up in the market. Don't get mad at everybody else. Look at yourself and go, what do I need to do to become a $500,000 attraction partner? And become that, and the money will follow.
Yeah. And Maureen, you make an excellent point that trust is easy to lose and hard to regain. It can be very challenging to regain trust. So don't lose it. Maintain it and keep those relationships solid and in integrity. I know
Yeah.
that's not about you, Maureen. I was just saying that in general because I know you're trustworthy.
And don't start thinking that you are expected to be perfect. All my investors know that I drop the ball all the time, but just own it, right? Just be straight up about things. And if you show up as a person that if the world falls apart, you want your investors believing and knowing that you have their back.
That is awesome. I'm typing that in the chat. Trust doesn't mean being perfect. It means being transparent.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Shall we move along, Ken?
Yeah, I think what we're doing, yeah, we got the special access today. If you want, guys, I'm just going to run through a little bit about what we have in the as long as, sorry, you saw that calculator and that assessment tool, we got some more stuff in there. So I'll just do something quickly high level. Jen, if you want to just do the slides, we can do that.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, quickly, I'll make this quick. So guys, if you're too busy, we have the property shop. I don't know if you guys have been in there. For those members that have, we have an actual pool for members. Our next level members can actually load their deals and they get blasted out to our database of our membership. And when you have deals, you can plop them in there. You know, we have a lot of people that are putting their deals up on the property shop. You'll get a notification to your phone, and we have deals being vetted and being plugged in here. So if you're too busy to go out and hunt, we have this tool here.
And Ken, I just want to acknowledge that was in response to our members asking. That was one of many key factors that members were asking for, is they wanted more deal flow. So as a result, you created this property shop. You and the team, of course, created this property shop so that deal flow can just happen at your fingertips.
Absolutely. And Nito, if you want, just connect with me, Ken at therealestatewealthlab.com. I'll be happy to show you where I learned that, but you'll learn a lot in the Rand's class as well, the coaching call on Thursday. So they're going to get into some more analysis and stuff. So stay tuned.
And Ken, Harry is asking who can upload their deals. Can you clarify if it's full members only or if it's all members can upload deals?
Yeah, it's our top tier membership, the 99 level tier. They're the ones that have access to upload their deals and access to promote them on our sort of Kijiji, if you will.
Awesome. Okay.
So guys, you know, for experienced beginners and next level people, we want you guys to have access to everything we got. You know what I mean? It's 99 bucks a month. It's canceling time. Give it a shot. You know, there's a lot of stuff in there. You know, I don't know if you noticed Jen's screen. I had a whole bunch of the Do It Yourself machine playbook. Those are playbooks that are all sequential. Again, operating efficiencies. You know, how do you invest in real estate in a sequence? So all that stuff is in there, and it's canceling time. And give us a try. We are running this promo, so get into our 14-day trial and then get into the draw that was done earlier today that you saw live. You know, we don't just pick somebody random out of a hat that's a friend and family. It's done live in front of you. This is what we do. You know, I've always had those, I was always skeptical. Oh, it's going to be with someone's friend or family and that sort of thing. So Jen does it live. It's and everybody gets recycled back in. So trial members and members, we're going to do it for the next 3 months. So congratulations to Arvind, I believe it was, that won today. So
yeah,
Paige,
congrats.
touch with you and we'll get things set up for Arvind. So congratulations.
Yep, awesome. And then of course, for those of you out there, go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, so the deal access is live for today. You can go in there and try it out. For anybody that's new, you can do it right here, realestatewealthlab.com/deal hunter. You scan the QR code, it'll take you right to it. You can see where you're at and get some more ideas, which we just divulged, and then create your task list. One thing I would add with the task list is make sure you set a date for those tasks, just like an upcoming vacation. As the date approaches, you start getting busy. If you don't set a date, it'll just fall by the wayside. So that's another tip and trick of the trade that keeps you in action. So setting a date concretes it in your calendar and things start to happen. So
beautiful, and hold that.
Great. As Jen mentioned, we do have our REWL live events. If members, you're already registered, you're already getting the invites. That's something we do for you because we know you're busy. So your invites are there. You get the text message to all the events. Members, if you want that, join the free trial. get in, and these are the dates. So save these times, and we'll see you at the next event.
Beautiful. And I think that's it.
Okay,
Oh, no.
good stuff.
One more.
Oh, we got more? All right.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know if you know, Naran is doing a coaching call. If you found Naran valuable today, wait till you see him on a Thursday in private. So guys, you're going to want to get on this call. If you're a beginner, this is the perfect thing for you. If you want a little bit of hand holding, you want to ask Naran and Wendy some questions. These are two super sophisticated real estate investors, you know, boots on the ground, active, experienced, knowledgeable. I can't tell you enough about these two. This is why we have them do this call. They are here for you. These are the people that will help you push forward. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. They love hard questions. It puts them in the hot seat, and they're really, really good at what they do. So I highly recommend you get in the call. I mean, I don't know if you saw that little piece there. We have, I think, 5 spots left for the 12 people. Again, it's a small class. It's not very big because we want to provide as much value as we can. But yeah, if you buy the 49 today, we'll upgrade you to the next level. For as long as you remain a member, you'll stay at next level for only $49. So, you know, get 99 for 49. You know, that's the pizza thing, I guess. But you're going to want to get into that call. It's a great call. Lots of tremendous value out of that call. So don't take my word for it. Check the chat. I'm sure there's some comments in there.
Awesome.
So let me jump here for just a second. Is that okay?
I would check with everybody here on the call, man, because we're way over, but we just love providing so much value, guys. I mean, if you want us to keep going, we can keep going, but you know, it's up to you guys. So put it in the chat, put your hand up. We're happy to keep going. What do we got? All right, Nito's in. Good stuff.
Goes in. I'm just going to take 30 seconds to say this. Listen, real estate is one of those things that you will end up making a lot of money on, or you will end up losing your shirt on. It's easy to look like you know what you're doing when the market is going up. It is in times like this right now where the market is volatile that people start losing their funds and doing stupid, crazy things. Don't be that person. We did not get to where we're at by accident. Ken, Jennifer, Wendy, Louis, myself, Richard Dolan, like we got here because we chose to be here. We acted our way here. We learned our way here, and we got beat up getting here. So if you want to be a big player, let's not keep talking about it and circling it. Come join us because we're on this together. So just come be a member. Like, stop horsing around. Sign up.
Okay, great.
That's all I got, man.
Let's go through this quickly, and we'll get you guys out of here. So guys, we just try to solve problems for busy people, okay? We're here for beginners, experienced people, and next level. Jen, let's go. So what we have is that we summarize things for you, right? If you don't have time to listen to the news, we present you the news. You know, our AI, Jen, we do this for you so that it saves you a ton of time. We provide you the reporting so you know where to buy, what are the best areas, and what's the signal? Is it buy, sell, hold? Next, let's go.
And our next one, we're actually doing Tampa, Florida and Cincinnati, Ohio. And we're pitting them against each other. Where to buy? Oh, yeah. All right. So that's July 27th.
This is an example of it. Guys, Jen goes through the headlines. Here's what it says. Here's what it means for you. Okay? Save yourself the 10 minutes from reading an article and do it in 2. I know that might take me 2 minutes to read. So you're probably a lot faster, but I'm slow with the article. What do we got next? So we talked about the property shop. Again, you know, find deals, list them. Guys, a lot of what we have for the research part of it, it's $9. I mean, if you want to know where to invest, the buy and hold signals, get the reporting summarized and get access to the property shop so you can look at deals and see what other members are doing, that's $9 a month. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Stay relevant, you know, on all these market insights and all the activity.
And to be clear, Ken, I just want to add, like, this is US and Canada macro level, and then into various cities and states like Arizona, Florida, Hawaii is always covered. And in Canada, a lot of the key markets are covered as well. So just adding that in.
And it's cancel anytime. get access to it. What we did for beginners was we created a beginners program, getting started. So it's got about 6 modules, 200 some odd pages. It's got a workbook to help you, learn what you need to learn, embed that stuff into your memory so that you can take action with what you got. So as a beginner, that's in there at the next level. So that's our next tier up. Yeah, and that's if you're interested in getting started on your own, like you want to do it yourself, that is what's added in there. So the only other difference between the $9 and the $19 is we added the module. You can get in there yourself and read it yourself, do the workbook yourself. This is something that I would do. I'm a beginner. I like to tear engines apart and figure out how it all works and fits together. That's for me. So that's how it fits for me. What's next? I talked about the REWL coaching. I'm not going to go into it anymore. Play the replay. I think I boosted Naran and Wendy as best as I could because they are phenomenal. So guys, get into that call. You know what I'm talking about if you're already there. So
yeah, they do.
So yeah, it's great. Phenomenal.
Awesome.
Yep. And we said, if you get in now, the last of the 5 seats that we have, it's 99 for 49. Okay, so this is where our next level takes off. As you saw, the Deal Hunter, we've got a ton of other tools, assessment tools, and any kind of tool that will really help you take your portfolio to the next level. And it's all in sequence, as you clearly saw. So they are step by step. We tried to make it as simple as possible. As you clearly saw with our demonstration today, that's what these tools are designed to do. So if you're stuck, we have playbooks. If you're stuck, we have a playbook. If you're just trying to figure out where to go, where to get started, what's next for you, those playbooks are in there as next level. Yeah, we tried to simplify spreadsheets. I don't know if you guys ever gone cross-eyed looking at a spreadsheet, Excel, and all the numbers and stuff. Everybody's laughing on this call that knows what I'm talking about. So we tried to make things nice, easy, concise, and clear. And that's what our calculators do. So we replaced our spreadsheets with some functional calculators that have some reporting that can help even sophisticated investors present to raising capital. So Nito, I'm looking at you. This is something you're going to want to learn so that once you understand how it all works, then you can use these reports to present opportunities and dive in deeper with other people. So that's in the next level as well.
And Ken, I just got to add quickly to that because I am a spreadsheet queen. I love spreadsheets. I get totally into them. They're super cool. And these are better. And the reason they're better is because when I've been presenting to joint venture partners with the spreadsheets and the analysis, all of a sudden we get lost in a formula. So it's not about me. I want to keep my spreadsheets a little bit, for some things. I want to keep some of that, but I know that when I'm presenting to others, I have to use something that's not my spreadsheet. And these are powerful. So there you go.
Absolutely. All right, what's next?
Oh, sorry.
No worries. For those of you that want to raise further capital and create a business out of this, where all you do is invest in real estate and you bring on partners and raise capital, then we have a course here, the Real Estate Investment Advisory Curriculum. This is like if you have 2 or 3 properties and you want to know how to run a business of doing this, like replace your income and leave your job, this is the course that you're going to want to take. That's in there. It's over 100 hours of content in there that can definitely help you set up a practice on how to be a real estate investor full-time. So again, this is in our $99 next level package. Guys, connect with us. We're here for you. I don't know if you noticed that today we went way over time. We just want to provide a tremendous amount of value. You have access to our advisors like Louis, Naran, Robbie, Vincent, our CTO, if you want technology. I mean, connect with us. We're here for you. So please do so. And that's it. Everything we got, guys, $99. And yeah, if you want to know more on the breakdown, go to the realestatewealthlab.com/become a member. I think Paige will put it in the chat, and you can learn more about the differences of all the memberships and what's included. But the only way you're going to do it is get into the trial. Get into the trial, give it a shot, play around with it, ask questions, play with the calculators, do some reports, do some assessments. And if you don't like it, it's not for you, hey, no problem, cancel anytime. But you will be billed after the 14 days, just so you know, we're putting that out there. But yeah, that's it. Give us a try. Guys, thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Well, thank you very much, Ken, for going through that. And thank you everyone for being on. And a special thank you to Lewis and Rand for also sharing your expertise today, and all of you for your market leadership and also your integrity. So delightful connecting with you. And I think from the feedback, it looked like lots of people got some great nuggets. So that's always valuable. And we're going to look forward to seeing you all next for the members. It's our community lab next week. And we are going to have some serious fun. So come prepared. We are going to be having a really, really amazing community lab like no other that you've had before.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, I'd like to ask one question. If this was a value today, and maybe it's an ask of the community as well, if you found some value today and you really liked it, tag us, post something about us. Let's grow together, right? We came out here to help you grow your portfolio, help us grow a little bit too. We'd love to hear your feedback, what you found valuable. The way you do that is reiterate something that you learned today, because it starts to get ingrained in your head, something you want to take action, something you really liked, post about it, because that starts to hardwire that information into your brain, and it'll sit there and then it'll irk you and you'll go do it. So that's another tidbit for taking action. So I would love it if you guys could do that. Real Estate Wealth Lab, realestatewealthlab.com for IG. I think that would be beneficial for everybody. Again, it'll hardwire you, it boosts us, and we all grow together and take all our real estate portfolios to the next level. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, the team, everybody here, everybody on the call, for all your time. Super fantastic. We'd be here for you guys. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. We'll sign off for now, I guess. See you later.
Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.